Today we're presenting the solution delivered for Norfolk County Council's Education HR team, built using a combination of Nintex Automation, Synatic, and DocFusion. Norfolk County Council approached us because their existing HR contract management solution, built on HotDocs, was becoming outdated and approaching end of support. The system had limited investment and was no longer able to support the growing needs of the organization and the schools and academies they work with. Working closely with the NCC team, we first analyzed the existing solution and carefully documented the business rules to ensure the new platform would support all required contract scenarios. In just under 2 months, we moved from requirements gathering through to a fully deployed solution in production. The goal was to deliver a modern, scalable MVP which could replace the legacy solution quickly while allowing additional enhancements to be introduced over time. The solution includes two main user-facing components. First, an external dashboard used by schools and academies will allow for external users to submit new contract requests, contract changes, or terminations. They can track the progress of their requests, view generated documents, and communicate directly with the internal HR team. Second, an internal dashboard used by NCC HR team to review requests, validate information, and ultimately generate the required employment contracts and documents before sending them to the relevant schools. Behind the scenes, we also developed a central configuration and administration layer to manage users, teams, employee roles, salary scales, allowances, and notification templates. The platform was designed to be scalable and has since been enhanced with features such as in-application alerts, a full audit trail capturing every event in the life cycle of a request, and automated synchronization of employee and contract data from the payroll system. This last enhancement significantly improved efficiency by allowing HR users to select existing employees and contracts and automatically populate the relevant information rather than entering all of the data manually. The solution architecture is built on 3 core technologies. Nintex Automation, or K2 Cloud, provides the user interface, forms, authentication, the workflow orchestration for both internal and external users. Synatic acts as the integration and data layer, using a MongoDB-based architecture to store and manage solution data while exposing secure APIs that Nintex consumes to retrieve and update the information. Finally, DocFusion is used for advanced document generation, producing contracts with the correct branding, logos, and clauses based on the specific school contract type and business rules captured throughout the forms. Together, these technologies deliver the modern, flexible HR contract management platform that replaces the legacy system while giving Norfolk County Council a strong foundation for future enhancement. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm Nuno Silva. I'm a senior automation architect on Jaam Automation, and I will be presenting some exciting new things we've built for NCC today. Moving on to Ian.
Thank you, Nina. I'm Ian Cooper. I'm the Education HR Service Lead for Norfolk County Council, and I oversee the operation of our Education HR team. Jo.
Hi, I'm Jo Gardner. I'm the HR team manager. So it's my team that actually use the system, and I'm part of the development as part of that as well.
Okay, thanks, Jo. So I'm going to go through a quick introduction to our Norfolk County Council Education HR situation and what led us to working with Jaam on building our workspace system. So Jo and I both work for Norfolk County Council. We operate a small specialist service called Education HR. We provide on a traded basis a range of human resources services to schools and academies in and around Norfolk. One aspect of that is HR administration. Our customers, around 220 establishments, tell us about new staff appointments, contract changes, changes to employee personal details, and leavers. We then process those work requests by undertaking some checks, updating the payroll system, creating appointment variation and termination letters, and various other tasks. Next slide, please. The workspace system that we're here to talk about today provides our customers with the means to send us those work requests. It's around 11,000 work requests per year in a secure and easy way. The forms built into the system reflect the pay and conditions our customers have adopted, so it helps them stay within their adopted and sometimes statutory frameworks. We've had a workspace system for around 10 years now, but by summer 2023, the system we had at the time was becoming outdated and a few challenges presented themselves. Firstly, the provider of that system had effectively lost interest in us. Their company had been taken over by a US company, and we quickly became a smaller fish in a much bigger sea. Costs increase, and our options for system development were very limited and unaffordable. Secondly, in August 2023, Norfolk County Council's IT department advised us that the servers being used to host the system would not be supported beyond June 2024. That advice was based on the Council's move towards cloud-based systems and increased security, with our old system no longer being compliant with the Council's minimum requirements. Next slide, please. So at that point, we took the decision to issue a tender for a replacement system, a cloud-based system that would deliver everything the old system did, but with a number of significant enhancements, including multi-factor authentication sign-in and improved data security elements, the import of employee data from the payroll system, the ability to distribute created contract documentation from within the system, and the development of case management workflows to support the work of our HR consultancy team. Next slide, please. Thank you. Jaam Automation Limited provided an element of consultancy to support the identification of our requirements to help us understand what's possible in this day and age. And Jaam subsequently won the contract for provision of our new workspace system. But the contract was only awarded late January 2024, with the contract with the old provider due to end in May 2024. So it gave us, or Jaam, just 3.5 months to get from contract award to an operational system. So that meant we needed to prioritize certain aspects. Core functionality was our first priority. And by core functionality, we mean replacement of what the old system provided us, albeit built on new foundations that would allow future development. The new core system was delivered at the beginning of May 2024. The only incomplete element was document generation, which followed quickly and was in place within just a couple of weeks after launch. And go live was relatively trouble-free, the main issues being around MFA arrangements used by Norfolk County Council for user access, nothing to do with Jaam or the workspace system itself. We then went through the process of 4 development sprints to deliver the enhanced features. The regular upload of employee data, meaning customers are now able to view their employees' basic contract details and use those to auto-populate fields rather than manually entering each time. Audit and activity logs for both internal staff and customers. The ability to distribute documentation from within the system to customers and to employees, and the ability for customers to upload supporting documentation to the system. And functionality to allow customers to receive alerts and notifications. We also took the decision to move from in-house dedicated system support to bought-in support and maintenance from Jaam to ensure we have the best possible support in place for Workspace going forward. So now for the exciting part, to show you what Jaam Automation built for us, I'll pass you over to Nuno Silva. Nuno, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian. So here we were presented with the challenge. We had 3 months to gather all the requirements and rules from the old system and build a whole new education HR solution to cater for all external and internal users' needs. How was this possible, you might ask? Well, in my opinion, the main factor that contributed to this was choosing the right technologies and tools. So we decided to go with Nintex automation for forms, for both the backend and front-end forms, and for building workflows to implement all the processes that SEC needed. Synatic for storing data and all the integrations across multiple systems, and DocFusion for document generation. What this allowed us to do is to build a very strong foundation and build an app that could then, and in time, we could add features to set up. So we can start with core functionality, as Ian mentioned, but then we can increment on those features and evolve from the initial solution we've built. On the next slide, we'll see then a demonstration. We'll start by showing you a distinguished dashboard that we built for external users to create and submit new appointments, changes to contract and termination requests, and internal users to review and approve those requests, generate and send contracts to clients. Here, we're navigating into a request form where we can see that we were able to divide and configure request steps, the various steps where users will gather data and then validate data on. This is configurable by the request type that they should choose. Right now, we're seeing a new appointment request where you can see all the request details, employee details, contract details, salary details that the user, the external user, needs to fill out in order for the HR team to validate and then generate the contracts. On the salary details tab, for example, there's advanced calculations going on here. Depending on the salary point selected, the salary is automatically calculated based on the salary point for the employee and also based on the contract details, on the number of hours worked, for example. We also allow, for example, for additional allowances. Everything you see here as a backend, so everything is configurable through a backend as well. We've also implemented the request summary that dynamically changes as users change the data on the request as well. So we can showcase all the main data in a single place and then all the changes that have happened since the request was submitted as well. Back to list. On list, we also included some filtering so the users can filter depending on dates or request types and the schools or trusts that they have access to. An internal user can also quickly change the status of each request on the list so they can quickly let everyone know what is the status of the request. External users will be able to access this as well in real time, so they will be able to see the status of their requests. The request summary is also available through the list. And there's also a comments functionality that we have built in that allows changing of information for each request between external users and internal users. We've also implemented a full audit system of every event that happens on the system per request. So all users will be able to see what has happened since the request was created up to the point the request is completed by the HR team and the contract is generated and then sent across either to the customer or to the employee directly. Here we can see all the details going into the audit. Then the big functionality is the document generation as well. So the system also allows, based on the data that was entered by the client, to generate contracts for the employee dynamically on the inputted data on the form, and either generates a Word document for editing afterwards or a PDF document that can be previewed directly in the app. If the AR user wants to send this, we also provide a quick functionality to send this via email with the contract attached. So everything is done via the app. We've also built in an employees and contracts list where we built an import that fetches all data from the payroll system through an Excel file. We are able to import all current data on all employees and contracts so that the user doesn't need to fill the information manually every time. It can be auto-populated based on the existing data as well. Moving on to a report section, we've also built in some reports so users can export either the request count or other report types. They can filter either by request type or any dates and group by the metrics that they want to achieve. For example, for this example, we're going to show a report grouped by establishment in teams and the request count, so we'll know exactly how many requests have been created per establishment and per team. They can be exported to an Excel file as well. Finally, what Nintex Automation allowed us to do as well is create not only the front-end screens you saw so far, but also a back-end administration screens. So all the data that goes into the forms can be managed centrally by administrators. So everything you see here is going into the forms, is configured. We are able to configure all the establishments, all the users, the teams in the system, request types, all the contract terms, roles, role groups, and allowances as well that you saw on the screens before, and the salary scale. So we have a very complex setup here to allow multiple tables, multiple values to be added per staff type as well. Here we have the payroll imports where we can check every data that has been imported on the system so far, and even templates, notifications that are sent. So this concludes the demo on the system, what we built so far. There are some new exciting things coming ahead based on the strong foundation that we've built, but I'll let Joe talk a little bit about that. Joe, moving on to you.
Thanks, Nuno. Okay, so the impact for our new workspace and our team has been quite significant. For example, single sign-on gives quicker access to the system for everybody. The activity log gives full visibility for all our actions taken against each work request, which shows who's done what and when, which is a great audit tool for us. The introduction of the automated email, which includes attaching documents to customers and their employees. This has been a more efficient and effective way for our documents to go out to our customers. The improved user interface is very easy to use. It has a good look and feel, tasks are more streamlined, and there are fewer clicks required. Having the ability to report on data held in the system is great. With our previous system, it had been customised so much for us, which meant the reporting tool didn't work, and it was all manual, which was a painful task. We have control over our user accounts and establishments, which means it makes life so much easier and quicker that we can do it ourselves as and when needed. Next slide, please. So for our customers, what does it mean? It's given them significant time saving through the import of the employee data, which allows pre-population of the many required fields. With the new functionality, this has given the ability to monitor progress on each request using statuses, alerts, and notifications, without having to request updates via emails or calling us. The audit trail allows customers to see when something has been completed, which then supports the SLAs that we have with our customers. Also, receiving documentation within the system keeps everything in one place. It reduces risk of potential data breaches, it speeds things up, plus they can easily obtain copies of documents as and when required. Since moving to our new system, this has generated some really positive feedback from all that use it, which is great news. So what are our next steps? We're now starting to identify further improvements to workflow on the HR administration side to provide more streamlined processes for our staff and hopefully for our customers too. But before we do this, we have begun the build of our new case management system, CaseSpace. This will be new functionality entirely for our HR consultancy team. We expect this to bring efficiencies for our team, consistency, and improved and increased response times for our customers, plus improved reporting for us as managers. There will be automation behind our HR consultancy service, similar functionality to Workspace, but focused on employee relations casework, and links between CaseSpace and Workspace for effective handoffs between our HR teams. This journey has been a really positive one, and going forward, we're excited to work alongside Jaam using the tools and platforms provided to us, plus their expertise to ensure we are moving forward with the times and not getting stuck with an outdated system. Thank you.